America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Pulse, brought to you by the great America's Pulse Network. I'm your host, Damon Galdo, host of the Jersey Shore Podcast, and we have a lot of good guests that are on tonight. And if you're looking at the title, it looks like it wasn't reset. Our great producer, the other Damon, today's his birthday, so happy birthday to you. So it's a title from last week, but it's basically the same thing. So you don't have to worry about it. It means the same thing that we talked about last week, but there's much more. So tonight I want to talk about something much bigger than politics. I want to talk about the survival of the United States of America. For years, we're told that America could never be conquered from the outside. We're told no foreign army could march across our shores and defeat us. And I still believe that. But what if the plan was never to beat America from the outside in? What if the real danger was always from the inside out? Look at what's happening right now, right in front of us. I mean, we have open border policies that have changed the entire meaning of citizenship. We have schools pushing socialism, anti-American ideology into the minds of our children. We have candidates openly tied to Democratic Socialists of America, winning elections from New York to Colorado. And now we have birth tourism and foreign surrogacy industries that expose one of the biggest loopholes in our entire system. The Supreme Court just upheld birthright citizenship, and I believe that was a major mistake. The 14th Amendment was written after the Civil War to protect freed slaves and make sure they could never be denied citizenship in their own country. It was not written so foreign nationals can fly into the United States, give birth, get an American passport for their child, and then take that child back overseas. And that is not what this country was built for. And this is not the same immigration system that existed during the Ellis Island era. Back then, people came here from Europe with nothing. They came to work. They came to build. They came to become Americans. They learned the language, they respected the country, and they were entering a nation before modern welfare state existed. Today, it's different. Today, we have massive welfare state. We have taxpayer-funded benefits. We have sanctuary policies. We have public schools, hospitals, housing pressures, and social programs already stretched to the breaking point. And at the same time, our immigration system has changed dramatically. The countries of origins, if you look at it from where they came from before to where they come from now, and the politics have changed. And now we're seeing something even more disturbing. Birth tourism is real. Federal prosecutors are going after organized operations that helped pregnant Chinese women come to America, stay in maternity hotels, give birth here, and then get U.S. citizenship for their children, and then return to China. This is not made up. This has been prosecuted by the federal government. We also have reports and concerns about wealthy Chinese nationals using American surrogacy laws to have children born here through American surrogate mothers. Some lawmakers are now asking the Justice Department to investigate Chinese-linked surrogacy centers operating in the United States. So here's my question. Why? Why are wealthy foreign nationals so interested in making sure their children are born American citizens? Why are people willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to make it happen? Why are foreign nationals using our laws, our hospitals, our courts, and our Constitution to create American citizens who may not even be raised in America? I believe the answer is obvious. American citizenship is power. It gives access, it gives rights, it gives protection, it gives future claim to this country. And if a child is born here, taken back to China, I would say, raised under communist influence, and later returns as an American citizen, that person can enter our schools, our companies, our government, and yes, even our politics. People tell me all the time, be careful. No, I'm not going to be careful. I'm tired of being careful while our country is being transformed right in front of us. I'm not saying every immigrant is bad at all. Not at all. I'm not saying every child born here is part of some plan, but I'm saying our enemies are not stupid. They study our laws, they study our weaknesses, they study our freedoms, and they use freedoms against us. That's how you infiltrate a nation. You do not have to invade it if with tanks or if you could do it with schools and change laws and change its voters, change its culture and change the meaning of citizenship itself. And that's exactly what I believe we are watching. This is why birthright citizenship matters. This is why immigration matters. This is why school indoctrination matters. This is why the rise of socialism and communism inside the Democrat Party matters. So with that, I'm going to cut this monologue. So welcome to the Pulse. We're going to go into our first segment, and I'm going to start introducing our guests. All right, we got Seth Eisenberg, host of the Conservative Corner.
And I'm playing double tonight. So if something's wrong with the podcast, it's not Damon or Damon's fault. It's mine because I put it together. So don't complain, don't cry, don't gripe. Just deal with it.
Well, no, you can go in the chat box and yell at Seth. Something happens.
Yeah, go in the chat and yell at me. And remember, there's a chat. You can yell at me on chat or ask Damon and the other guys questions. But tonight's all on me. It's my fault tonight.
So, all right, let's bring on our next guest. We have Jack Brangan here. Jack Brangan just recently ran for assembly in LD6 and is currently reluctantly managing my campaign for Congress.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm not unemployed. I'm not totally unemployed. But I do have a job. I'm working harder now than I did, I think, when I was actually working. So
you probably are. You're at it all day long. So
yeah.
So, and then we have a special guest tonight that's coming on. This is Ankush Bhandari. He's a political expert. He's written books, many articles. He came over here legally 20 years ago. So I will let you introduce yourself. I don't want to do any disservice.
Thank you, Galdo. First of all, for inviting me over your channel. And as you mentioned, yes, when people ask for the migration and they say why I am opposing that, I said I'm not opposing the migration. I am opposing the illegal migration, the open borders, because America is a country, not a hotel. Anybody can stay for free. America has given a lot of freebies. Now the time has come to put a halt on those freebies, and I strongly was very happy when US aid was cut down, because if you have gone through that, the organization which were getting the aid, some doesn't make any sense out of it. Why we're supporting the people, the clinics who are giving transgenders. I can give you an example. When I read that, there was a transgender clinic in India, down in South India, and they were getting $500,000 per year to do those surgeries. And I don't understand how we can give money, or I can throw the money for such stupid causes, which is against, according to me, the law of nature and the law of God. So,
no, that's a good point. So, I mean, you're absolutely right with that. So, but thank you for coming on. It's the first time you've been on the America's Pulse Network. I know, I apologize. I'm supposed to have you on my Jersey Shore podcast on Monday, but I had an event that popped up that I had to go to. It was a great event. But let's bring on the rest of the guests. and start segment one. So segment one, guys.
Way to go, Seth. Got it right.
He's got it. It's
So good.
we pat him on the head a little bit.
It's because I'm in the Navy.
So this, I labeled this segment the red wave on the left. And when I say red wave, I don't mean Republican. I mean red is in communist. So you look at the people that got elected in New York. They're open communists, pretty much. They say they're part of the Democratic Socialists of America, but it's basically they're communists. They want to abolish prisons. They want to abolish police, abolish ICE. They want to take what you have and give it to other people. That's basically the definition of communism to me. So, Seth, since you're busy, I'll go to Jack on this one first, and then Jack, what are your thoughts on what's going on with these people getting elected and they're infiltrating the Democrat Party?
Yeah, actually, that fact, along with the immigration issue, I mean, it's actually beyond concerning. It's a little scary here because, as you mentioned, a lot of these people are people who are not born in the United States. They have no allegiance to the United States, and yet they seem to be, I'll call it, infiltrating our politics and getting elected by, promising the world to the voters, number one. And number two, in many of these areas, I don't believe the voter registration database is anywhere close to being accurate. It's probably already overloaded with illegal voters of all sorts, either, illegal aliens, or people that.
That's music playing there.
People that are either dead or moved out of the locale. So this is very concerning. There's so much damage that have been done already. And we bring in probably 1.5 million legal immigrants every year, which frankly brings up the H-1B issue. That visa I have a problem with. And is it Ankush? Is that your first name, Ankush?
And
Yes.
Yeah. For at least 5 years, I traveled over to Hyderabad, India, once or twice a year. I don't know if you've ever been to Hyderabad, but that was where part of my team was that I was working with. So I did a little traveling around, got to the Taj Mahal, the Pink City, got up to Nepal, Mount Everest, and all those things generally in your neighborhood. So, but getting back, it's very concerning. And quite frankly, I don't think enough emphasis has been put on this Supreme Court decision about, the birthright citizenship. This could be the nail that puts the coffin, into the coffin of this country, because we're already laboring under 20 million illegal immigrants, and when they all have children, it could be too much to handle.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the next segment with the Supreme Court decision. But this is more like like you said, the red wave, the communist wave that's infiltrating the Democrat Party, and they are. I mean, you see the Bhandari backed candidates in New York got elected, and in Colorado as well. And they're even. None of the Democrats are fighting against. So I'm going to go with you. This one. None of the Democrats. I hear Seth. I don't know what happened there. So, but anyway, to ask you that question, none of the Democrats are actually fighting against it, and we all know they don't want it. But I think they went too far by allowing it, and now they're stuck. And they'll do anything to stay in power. And now it looks like the Democratic Socialists are taking over. So, any question? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they've lost control.
Democrats
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ankush.
Go ahead.
Okay. See, if you see the history of Democrat Party, see, I immigrated a couple of years back, means almost 20 years back. But if you see the history, they are the one who opposed the civil rights movement. They are the one who opposed uh, the right to vote to the black community. They are the one who promoted triple K theory, right?
Yeah.
So it's not if you unfold the pages of history, you can see what their agenda is, not only now but 50 years, 80 years back.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise that now communism has come to uh, uh, has become a part of Democrat Party. What is Bernie Sanders doing there? He's there from last 45 years, I
Yeah.
suppose. He's a communist.
Yes, he is. He definitely is.
And an idiot.
And he
You can
spent his
pick up
honeymoon
any
in,
beautiful
Moscow.
word from Oxford. Sorry?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So you froze up a little bit.
Did you
I
ask
don't
me
know
a
why.
question?
No, I didn't. Maybe Seth did.
Okay, so what I said. Okay, what
Go
I
ahead.
said was that it depends. Doesn't matter what word you choose from the Oxford Dictionary. All matter is what is your agenda. What are your policies? What is your vision for the country, for your countrymen? And Democrats have never come up with a clear vision for the progress of America. Nobody's asked a question: who prospers China? It was not Nixon, President Nixon. It was President Bill Clinton, who in 1992 asked the companies to go and work in China. Many of the companies opposed that because of the labor laws. But President Clinton pursued them to go there and let the America industry fall down to bottom of the ocean,
No,
right?
you're right about
Yeah.
that. The old NAFTA deal. Anything
Yeah.
else? So
Yeah, and who was the one who said that we have a feminism? I don't understand the word feminism. Another very beautiful word they have taken from the dictionary. How can a family prosper without a man and a woman? Both are the same. Both are the tires of a cycle. A house is like a cycle, right? If one tire gets flat, you can't go on a bike. So you have to have both. So this is not the new agenda they have put up. With the change of time, they are putting up new things and making the people fool. Because as a common man, we are very busy in putting the food on our table, the roof on our head, and the clothes on our body. We don't have, but these people always has a very vicious agenda. And now this communist, and President Trump was right when he said America will never be a communist, never with the uppercase.
no, you're right, and I'm glad you brought about that having the two parent.
And I will just take 5 more seconds. And they take over our academia. That's the problem. The coming generation don't understand what are their rights.
No, you're right about that.
You ask any high school kid or a college kid, they don't know what amendment means. How many amendments are there in the Constitution? Why do we in the Pledge of we say that under God? First, they took away the God from their prayers from the schools, and then they took away the rights slowly and steadily, enslaving the kids not physically but mentally.
You're right about that. I'll go to you, Seth, too. I mean, he brought up something that we all talk about a lot, and you bring it up all the time about having a two-parent household, man, woman, whatever. But you just not having a father at home too. That's another thing that you bring up a lot, and I agree with you 100%. So does Jack. But I mean, everything he just said, I agree with 100%. And he's not even originally from this country. He immigrated. I'm like, hey, like every immigrant take a page out of his book.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing him speak kind of like makes me happy because it tells me that common sense is worldwide. It's not just me that has common sense; it's everywhere. It may not be as much as it used to be. It may be a dying thing, but people still have common sense, and it's good to know that. And he's right. The communist takeover, the communist, however you want to phrase it, has been very slow and methodical because, like, I think you've said it and other people said it. They know they can't take us outright. You can't. They can't do that. So they've played the long game. This started like back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they've done it very slowly, so slow that you can't notice it. Unless you're really paying attention and looking for it, you would never go, oh, well, crap. Look at what they're doing. And now that we see it, it's kind of late. We're like in the fourth quarter now. We're down by 2 touchdowns, less than 3 minutes. Now we see what they're doing. Now we're trying to catch up. And that's the worst position to be in tactically in anything. You never want to be behind the 8 ball with no time left because you've got nothing. Now all you can do is react. I think what everybody should start doing now, and it sounds like it's a pain in the butt. It's so hard to do and it's expensive. You have to homeschool. You have to get your kids out of these indoctrination factories and start to teach them reading and writing and math and science. Not the woke version where nobody gets offended by it. The real stuff, real history. Real history is ugly, and it should be ugly because if you don't learn from it and you don't know the truth, you're going to repeat it. Homeschool your kids. Start with that. And don't say, well, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Millions of people do it in the country now. There are where I live, there are what they call homeschool schools, where families open houses up to homeschool kids, and they teach there. And they actually hire teachers who are professional teachers who've quit the public school system because they don't agree with it either, and teach what the parents want taught. It can be done. And if you start hitting the government in the wallet, they will start to pay attention. They can't ignore it anymore. But that's the smallest step anybody can take. Homeschool. Then you start paying attention to your politicians. Don't just look for the R or D because that doesn't mean anything anymore. You got D's that are communist. You need to educate yourself on your candidates and vote for the candidate that most aligns with your, I guess, ethics or whatever. But get away from the people promising you stuff that you know deep down inside they can't give you. Stay away from them. Nobody can give you free money. Nobody can give you free bus rides or free this or free that because the government produces nothing to make money on. So whatever is free, someone has to pay for it. Since they don't make money, we got to pay for it. And eventually, you'll have to pay for it. And then eventually, there'll be no more money. And then look at Russia like in the mid-'70s and '80s. Loaf of bread cost $4,000. I mean, Open your eyes. If it's too good to be true, trust me, it's too good to be true.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, I'm seeing a lot of comments here. I just want to let everyone know I see Con, good job, Seth, Low. And Donald is always on. Thank you, Donald. You're always in. You're a loyal watcher. So anybody that's watching out there, whether they're watching on Rumble, X, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it may be, all social media platforms, you can go in the chat box, you can ask a question, you can make a statement, and we'll pick it up if we can, not in the middle of like a deep conversation. But Ankush, if you wanted to just respond to that, because we're going to take a quick break, because I know Jack's got to go soon, so we'll take a quick break and try to get another the next segment in with Jack after this, and just to ask him a question. So if you wanted to say something,
Yeah, I just want to add what you mentioned is we pay the taxes for the school. And if our schools are not teaching the children the right education, the values, I think the first thing as an American, what we have to do, stop paying taxes for the schools. Once they don't have the money, without finances, you can't survive. And this is universal truth. Not today, not 100 years before, but thousands years before also. You need money. And the people have to stand up. I'm not going to pay tax. You want to send me the letters? Keep on sending it and take them to the court. Because with this agenda in the school, sorry, sir, you are off my tax budget.
It's a good idea. I don't know if it will work though, because you need a lot of people to do it.
Enough people do it though. Enough people do it. It'll work.
Yeah.
Well, somebody has to start. Galdo, somebody has to start. And the movement becomes, let's say 10 people starts in a city like New York, and it can become like, if you see, there's a 22-year-old kid who is starting that from California to DC, the relay march. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to reach, and all the people are joining him on the way.
True.
So somebody has to start from somewhere. That's I can say.
So, actually, I want to put up some graphs on this. I forgot before we end the segment. I want to just show you this. Well, no, not this segment. I'm sorry, it's the next segment. I apologize.
Don't scare me like that, man.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go to the next segment. And I want to put up some graphs, and then we're going to talk about it.
Trying to give me a heart attack.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the next segment 2 of the Pulse. So this is subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Now, this was the Supreme Court's ruling about birthright citizenship. And they had a bunch of rulings yesterday too. We can go over a bunch of them, but I just want to point out that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means the jurisdiction thereof is where you're from. You can't just come here and have a baby and not have it be your domicile. You can't just go to another country. That's not what it was intended. The 14th Amendment was not what it was intended for at all. I think Justice Thomas wrote it the best when he said. Although I'm surprised it did not pass, especially with like I said in my monologue, how they're having, well, people just call them anchor babies, but they're really not now. Now they're using them as weapons. Not all of them. I'm just saying, but what the Chinese are doing with the surrogates and paying, they're going tours with babies, sending a woman over here, and they go to a hotel and have the baby there, and they leave with the baby, and here they're a citizen of the United States, and they get raised in a communist regime, and now they can run for president one day in the United States. So let's pull up the first graph real quick, and Seth, and then I'm going to go to Jack.
Okay.
That's chart number 2, but all right, it doesn't matter. Either way, we'll go to 1 afterwards. It says the largest order in the country of unauthorized immigrants now is Cuba, Venezuela, India, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico. Mexico, see how much Mexico is, but Mexico was coming here to do this. I would say the majority of them because of the welfare state, and that's we're going to talk about that in the next segment. So Jack, I'm going to go to you real quick. What are your thoughts on this, on the Supreme Court decision this morning?
Well, yeah, I do have to jump here in a minute. Let's. I'd say keep an eye on New Jersey. Look, we are already sitting with 1 million illegal immigrants, if not more. So now you have, maybe half of these being adults. You've got 500,000 illegal immigrants that are now going to have children, and we can't take any more, frankly, because we're already the highest property taxes in the country, and we also have the highest corporate tax in the country. I don't know that we can take much more. So things are going to start breaking. The legislature has changed a number of laws that prevent police from helping ICE. They've also carved out different areas that are sort of no-go zones for ICE, where if they enter, no one is to give them any help. These are things like courthouses, jails, hospitals, schools. So this is where illegal aliens are going to congregate because this is safe harbor for them, including the criminals. And, it's going to be very difficult for ICE to do anything in these areas. The other thing is New Jersey will no longer share any data that your local police agencies come up with regard to an illegal alien. They will not share it with ICE anymore. They used to do that. So I don't know. All I can say is this whole thing has gotten way out of hand. I don't know if we can deport enough to, get rid of the ones that are here, plus the ones that are about to, be born here. That's the problem. So with that, I have to drop off, Damon.
So, all right, Jack, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
And
get back to work on the campaign.
That's right. I got you. Take care.
So, all right. So Seth, if you want to pull up the other graph, I think it should be the one for this segment. If not, it might be reversing.
Yep, there it is. I put it backward.
Yeah, okay. There's the estimated U.S. birth to unauthorized immigrant mothers, which is illegal immigrant mothers. So, you look at this spike from 1990 to roughly 2006. It did dive off a little bit, and now it's right back up on the rise. And because people are trying to have. Now, listen, I'll say it again. I understand this is the greatest country in the world. I know why people want to come here. I'm not saying every Mexican person, tourist person, or Asian person, or Indian person, whatever it may be, that come here legally and they have a baby. But it's the law that when they have a baby here, they're a citizen of the United States. So then it comes to the point where they have a baby here. So what are you going to do? Deport parents and have an infant here? That is the dilemma. It should not happen. It wasn't designed that way. And we're the only country in the world that has that. I believe we are we are the only one in the world that has that. So, and we're the greatest country in the world. So who wouldn't want to come here? So that has to go. I think the Supreme Court was totally wrong on this, and I don't know. That's why elect me for Congress, and I will go in and codify it and change the law in Congress, so we don't need the Supreme Court to rule on it. It's not really their issue so much, but it should be amended in Congress. Should have been a long time ago. So Seth, real quick, I'll go to you, and then we'll go to Ankush.
Yeah, I think when it was first written, it had good intentions. We just come out of the Civil War, and some of the people who were slaves had helped the North fight, and as a way of saying thank you, other than being freed, let's make sure you can be a citizen. I think you have the full rights thereof of an American citizen, as long as you're born here, and that was great. I don't think that when they wrote it, they were thinking about illegal immigration from Mexico or from the Far East or anywhere. They that wasn't probably even on their radar at that time. They didn't even consider it. I think it demeans or diminishes what it means to be an American citizen, a natural citizen. If all I got to do is be on vacation here and my wife has a baby and then poof, American citizen. I don't agree with the Supreme Court on that at all. And I think anybody who tries to argue for it is a total idiot. You don't know history. You don't understand what was written when it was written, what was going on and why they wrote it. It's not about carte blanche. You can just come over and now you're a citizen. That's not what they intended at all. I don't understand why it would make us a bad guy if we change that. Why are we all of a sudden an evil country if you just can't, sashay across the border and have a baby and then be a citizen? Why would we be a bad country if we said, no, you can't do that anymore? Sorry, that's not how we're going to play. Wouldn't make us a bad country. Would make us evil people. Would make us a country who prides ourselves on being natural citizens. And if you want to be a citizen here, you have to go through the proper channels. And the proper channels aren't having sex in a Motel 6 and then having a baby. That's no. You have to go through the process of like everybody else who's done it legally. It has to mean something or it means nothing. And right now with that ruling, now you're an American citizen, big deal. What's that mean? You were born here, or did you actually, were you raised and you have family and you have roots and you have ties here? It means nothing anymore. And I think that's by design, going back to the communist thing. If you erode what it means to be a citizen of a country, that country's not so great anymore now. Like, oh, big deal. Everybody can be an American citizen. Just go over for vacation. Have a baby. You'll be good. So, yeah, this is all by design. This is not just, one isolated incident after another. It's all connected. And it all is working towards the end goal of destroying the country at its roots. And at the fabric of this, they're attacking the fabric of this nation now. And unfortunately, Republicans and conservatives are very quiet. We don't want to be out and loud in the streets. So this is going to happen until, and again, I'm going to upset conservatives and Republicans, but I don't care, until we grow a set and start standing up and fighting for the country. Like, hey, this isn't happening anymore. We're done with this. If I can vote you out, we're going to vote you out. If you're in the Supreme Court, we can't vote you out. We're going to start looking for people who can remove you legally and replace you, because this is bullcrap. There's no other country in the world that operates like this. But we're supposed to. Like he was saying a minute ago, we're not a Holiday Inn. You don't just get to come and go as you please. You have to have an allegiance to this country. And that doesn't mean anything anymore. People complain about the Pledge of Allegiance. People complain about everything when it comes to America, but it's okay for other countries to do it. I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to be quiet about it anymore.
So I hear you there. So, Ankush, I'm going to ask you, how do you interpret to the jurisdiction thereof?
See, to be very honest, yes.
Yeah, no, just go ahead.
To be very honest, I think this is not birth tourism. This is birth terrorism. Okay. See, from 2000 to 2010, if you see the data, Chinese were the highest number who came here, especially in California and some other states. They stay there, give child the birth. When the child get 2 months, they leave. I think 14th Amendment is good, but it needs some changes. If you want a child, like either we can go either way, like what Germany and UK do. One parent has to be a US citizen, then the child can become. Or suppose when the people came on a work visa, how much they have contributed to the economy. There should be a number of it. Okay, this guy came, he worked for 5 years, in 6th year he has a baby. I'm giving an example.
Mm-hmm.
And he contributed, let's say, $100,000 in whatever way. Taking a rent, loan, SSN, tax deduction. Yes, he qualifies, means his child qualifies to be a citizen. Means this is not a, like you said, Holiday Inn. Come, have a sex, baby, and go away. And then you become you become a liability for the country. You are not an asset. And now just imagine between 2000 and 2010, the number of Chinese children who came back to US for higher studies, they are now in the colleges, right? There must be 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. They can come, they can work here. And tomorrow they start spreading the CCP agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Can you stop them? Hundreds and thousands and millions of them? No. It will become a disaster.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. That's why there should be some check and balances. That's what I want to say. Yes, you become a citizen. Every person in the whole world, 8 billion, has the right to become US citizen. Only and only if you put the tick marks of all the things you have. You can become it. Who is stopping you? This country is, yes, made of migrants. But if you see the Ellis, I went there a couple of times in New York. It has the whole documentation. Even if you see, there was a story going on that President Trump grandmother came here. She worked as a maid in many houses. She just came with a $50 in her pocket. She worked hard, let her children educated, and now the children become whatever you want. So my only question is what you contribute. If you want something, give something. It's a two-way traffic. It's not a one-way traffic. And if you say, oh, I will come back after 25 years and then I will contribute, okay, no problem. You come back after 25 years, contribute, and then we will give you the citizenship.
Yeah, yeah.
What's harm in that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
What's harm?
Common sense. You know, you're going to come here. You want to be productive.
So when you go to the Congress, we'll put these points over there.
I
Okay.
definitely will. Absolutely. I'll consult you the day after I get sworn in. So, Seth,
No, it's a simple thing. I go to restaurant, I pay the bill, then they give me the food, right? I go to the college, I pay the fee, then I get the education. I go to purchase car, I pay, then they give me the car. We don't get. I go to the grocery shop, I pay, and I get the grocery. So what you are paying to get a U.S. citizenship? Just staying here for 4 months or 6 months or a year?
wait a second.
Doesn't make any sense.
Hold on a second. You were talking. You're talking way too
and
much
also-
common sense.
All this common sense is making my head hurt.
Yeah. Way too much common sense.
And one more reason, if let's say one child is born here, he has to go anyway back to his country, but his parents is still contributing, he's eligible. Because he's a child, he can't contribute. The parent is contributing, right?
I just think it'd be easier just to shut down immigration altogether for 5 years. Nobody comes in anymore. No exceptions. Let's get our own country straight, clean our own house first, make sure we're good. And then maybe, like I've said before, then maybe we'll think about letting a trickle. And we're going to be very selective. It's going to be very hard to become a citizen. It's going to be very expensive because we just don't want anybody coming in here. We want the best. And if you're willing to pay, we'll take you in. If you're doing it legally, there's nobody in this country who's going to turn your way. If you're doing it legally and following the steps, everybody will welcome you. But I think we need to have a break. I think we need to shut the borders down and not be a dick about it. Just go, hey, look, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We're gonna close shop for a little while. We need to straighten up our stuff. So bear with us for a couple of years. We're gonna get all that taken care of. And once we're back and we're good and we're strong, we're gonna open the doors again and we'll start letting people in. But until then, we're closed for business. Good luck. We wish you the best. You know,
Well, yeah.
happy
First
trail.
part, I agree with you. Just closing, give us some time to get our stuff in order. But I do think it should be an easier process and not as expensive. I mean, when I say easier is come up with a different type of system to where go and vet the people. Like don't let as many people. There shouldn't be letting a ton of people in. There's no vacancy at this point. You look at it that way. So you'll have less people coming in if they're good people. I mean, I wouldn't charge them too much, and I would expedite the process because you'll have people that can invest, that can validate them that they're going to come here to work. They're not coming here like the rules that you're not coming in this country and getting on Medicare. You're not coming to the country and getting on food stamps. You have to have a job in line and stuff like that. But I would make it quicker for people that are vetted.
Last year in 2024, the whole terminal in JFK was given to illegal, and the news was all over. I'm not saying that. I read the news, and it was said that they are illegal between 15,000 to 20,000 people.
Yeah.
They are getting free food coupons, $250 per month. They have the free phone. They get the free medical. Who is paying? You and me. Did the New York government base? If they are so intelligent, put their salaries and give them. Oh, we have to help the immigrants. Okay, no problem. You do the charity. Don't make me a charitable person. I don't want to do charity anymore.
And to what you were saying, Damon, people will meet a challenge. So if you lower the bar, that's what you're going to attract. If you raise the bar and make it harder, that's who you'll attract. You'll get people who want it, who are willing to do what they got to do to become a citizen. And I'm not, and maybe we should tweak it. Maybe there should be some adjustments. I don't know. I was born here. I don't know how you have to become a citizen. I just know that when I go to other countries, when I went to Austria and Germany and those places like that, when I got to the airport, there were no goddamn signs in English. Not one. If you didn't speak German, you were screwed. You'd wander around, lost forever in the airport. They don't acquiesce to you. If you're coming to our country, learn our language, or at least attempt to learn our language, but don't just expect everything to be in your native tongue because that's easier for you. It's just too easy here.
Yeah, well, no, that should be a rule.
That's why the previous administration put DEI. If you now go to Walmart, Walgreens, ShopRite, which say it again.
No, you're breaking up.
You're breaking up a little bit. You're good now.
Okay, what I was saying, if they put the DEI, right? Biden administration put the DEI, diversity, exclusion, and what was the I don't remember, right? So if you now go to Walmart, any Walmart in Jersey, go to Walgreens, go to any shopping center, ShopRite, or any other, you will find a lot of non-English speaking people, and they will say, "Do you know Spanish?" So one time I get so angry, I said, "Excuse me, I'm in America, not in Spain, okay?"
Well, it's like if you go to an ATM. You've been to an ATM lately? You got to find English. It's like they got like 25 different languages. You got to scroll through to find the English button so you get your money in English. And I'm really worried about the Braille on ATMs. Like on the drive-through ATMs, who's driving blind that needs a Braille to use the ATM? That's what scares me the most.
Yep, Braille driving. But no, listen, we're going to have to take another quick break. But I just want to say what I meant was, if we slow down the amount of people coming in, there's more time for people to get vetted by our system. So I'm saying that could speed up the process for a good family or a good person who wants to become an American citizen, and maybe not cost them as much. Maybe instead of taking 10 years, it can take maybe 3 or 4 or whatever it may be. This something a little bit better, because if the line is shortened because there's so much room, then I think of that. That's all I meant by that.
Okay, I can get on board with that. That's okay.
So, do we have another graph on this?
On this one, no. The next one we have
we have
I think 85 graphs. I think right around 85.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
Come on.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media, just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
You are damn right, Congressman Van Drew. Thank you very much for that. I still hate the way I looked in that picture. I was so swollen up. I was
angry.
I was out. We were out literally 24 hours snow plowing. We got all that snow because my company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I was freezing, and I had to run home as fast as I can to do this podcast because I had him Van Drew scheduled, and run in. My wife's got my shirt tied, my face. As soon as I hit the heat, and I was up for like 30 hours straight. We were out there plowing snow, but either way, I got the interview done.
But it looked like you were sizing the man up. Like, I think I could take him. I think I got him. Yeah. It looked like, I was like, damn, did he say something? Did I miss something?
You're choking me up here. But all right, so this is the third segment here. This is Ellis Island versus the welfare state. And the reason I bring this up, let's bring up the first graph. So,
I think I got them in order too. Yep, I did. Good for me.
There you go. All right. So if you look at it, I can't even see it. It's too small.
Immigration peaks and slow down. I'll bring up the master copy. I don't know why it came in small that you can't read it,
but it just shows from what was it, 1800s. Basically what it is. It's the immigration. I don't go off the top of my head with it.
Yeah, it peaks at 1881 to 1900 is that high peak to the left.
Yeah.
And then all the way to the right, that's 2001 to 2000. 1991 to 2000 is where it peaks really high on the right, where it goes up.
Yeah, because basically it went down after the 1920s, roughly after World War I.
Yep.
That's what most people had, but that's when it was actually, they were just, voting people in because there was plenty of room in America. And then it dropped off, and then you had the baby boom and stuff like that. But then then you get to right around, I think it's right around like 1960-ish when they made it a welfare state. But when, let's say Lyndon B. Johnson, he wasn't the first one that started, but he pushed it through even further and said that they're always going to, they're never going to not vote Democrat again. But he was talking about people that lived here. But once it got worse and worse and worse, and people knew they could illegally immigrate here and come and get free stuff, then boom, we see this spike. And then you want to show the other graph too.
I got that right too.
So now, and this guy's basically what I'm showing is the origins, from Ellis Island era. If you look, the percentage, it's 86% came from Europe, and then you look at the small slivers, Canada, Latin America, and Asia, and all that. So that's what it was. These were people that came here that were looking for a better life, looking to work. And that was back then, that was like prior to 1920, roughly. Yep. And they're the ones that built America. I mean, these are people that they didn't come here for anything free because there was nothing free to be given to them. The only thing was free was your rights, that you get in the United States. So that's what they came here for. And they worked and they built, the United States up. They fought in wars. They, fought for our freedoms that we have today. But then we go to the next one. This is after. I can't see, but what's it basically?
That's today.
Yeah, it's today. But yes, it is today. But it was basically after, 1960. It started.
Yes, 1965.
Yes, yeah. And then you see Latin America and Asia and Africa and Europe shrinks down to 10%. So then more people started coming here from more third world countries because we're offering free stuff. And that's what they came here for. They didn't come here to work. I'm not saying all of them, man. Listen, I know a lot of Mexicans that are over here. They work their butts off. I just name a Mexican just for one of them. But I mean, I know other Guatemalans, they work their butt off. But when you come illegally, try to cross the border, most likely you're coming here for something free. But that's why we're in so much debt. That's why insurance premiums are so high. I mean, because they are people, they get sick, they have babies. We talked about that earlier. I paid $44,000 for my insurance when I had my son 8 years ago. Luckily, I only had to pay $4,000 out of pocket. But yeah, so I can imagine what it is now. It was 8 years ago. But when they get sick, they go to the hospital. I mean, they're people. They get sick, they have babies. I mean, it's nothing unusual about that. But who's paying for it? We are. So that's
like everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't think people understand that all this it's not coming from people who are poor. It's not coming from people who are rich. The middle class foots the bill for everything. Always. So I think people need to realize that we're taxing the poor. No, we're not. The poor don't pay any taxes. They don't pay anything. They get all the stuff free. The rich don't pay for anything, not because they're cheap, because they know the loopholes. They find the loopholes in the government, that the government has made it for taxes or whatever, and they use them. The middle class is always getting stuck. Always. Got to pay this bill. Got to do this. Our taxes are going up. This is going up. It's always the middle class. And people got to understand when these people come over illegally, they go into the middle class. They leech off the middle class.
Yeah.
And the
I
upper
mean,
middle class become middle class, middle class become lower middle class, and the lower middle class become poor, and then they become homeless, and then they become
Yep.
under the lowest category, and that's how the system, the society works, right?
Yep.
Because
yeah, it's
if inflation goes high, your savings goes down, and if your savings goes down, everything impact, because it's all depend on finances.
And then people will laugh if you go, yeah, in Russia, they're paying like $4,000 for a loaf of bread because of inflation. People laugh. That's a fact. There were lines around the block in Russia to buy just a loaf of bread, and it costs like a month's pay to them. It can happen. It can happen. Again, if you don't know history, you're going to repeat it. It's going to happen again because you won't know what to look for.
no, you're right. And think about it. It's kind of like, yeah, it's
In
kind
Iran,
of, yeah, no, yeah, well, yeah, their currency is worth like a bag of rocks right now.
Iran, Vietnam, there are many countries where.
Yep.
Now go ahead,
Mhm.
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean here, I mean it's kind of off base with the changing like the demographics of who's coming to the country now, but it's connected to it. I mean, but it's the Democrat policies too that are screwing everything up. You had the 23% inflation under Joe Biden, and if you look at it, they 22% middle class wages went up since he was in. So we're not even yet, to catch back up. But yet, and it actually goes even more negative because, let's say in New Jersey, they raised the minimum wage 85% since Biden got in office. 85%. So not only you're dealing with the inflation, a kid that works at McDonald's now makes $17 an hour, whatever. So McDonald's has to charge more money. They're going to pass it off to the consumer, or even ShopRite, grocery stores, whatever it may be. And who typically has kids? Not the young people that typically work in this place that minimum wage was designed for. They still live with their parents. As their first starter job, or going to school, whatever it may be. But then it falls on the middle class because we have kids. We're married. We have kids, and we're the biggest consumers. So it hits you double time, even more. So that's why I was talking to someone today, a buddy of mine. He said, "I don't get it." He said, "I years ago I made less money and I was more comfortable. I made more money and I'm struggling."
Exactly.
So
I've never been more in debt than I have now. And this is the most money I've ever made in my life. I am so behind on everything, and I've never made more money in my life. Like you said, like your friend said, back when I was just out of the Navy, making the list. I mean, I made just a little bit more then when I was first out of the Navy. I was fine. Had a car, had an apartment, could take care of myself, take care of my daughter, was living good. Now I would have to make double what I'm making now. Not exactly, but more than I'm making now to live like that, like I was back then on less. It's insane.
yeah,
And I was reading a paper, I think it was on Guardian or maybe I don't remember. They say the people, the students who used to work in summer job, right, for 2 months, 3 months, they earn so much of money that they can pay the whole year their fees, college fees. They don't have to take loan. How that system works versus this system. America is the same, people are the same, the work is same. Then what has changed? Does anybody do the RCA, root cause analysis, for that?
No.
oh well, yeah, I could tell you.
And in the same paper, they say in $20 they used to bring the whole month grocery with barbecue every weekend.
I missed that.
Me too.
Yeah, and the problem is that now, if like President Trump said just yesterday, the gas prices in New Jersey hasn't gone down as
Haven't gone down
expected.
here much either.
In Pennsylvania, which is always 40-50 cents more, because I used to go to Pennsylvania. There's a cow sanctuary there. So sometimes I have to put the gas just next to the cow sanctuary. Gas prices were always 70-80 cents more. I'm going there from 2018.
Damn.
But this year, after this clash with Iran, the gas prices in Pennsylvania is much lower than in New Jersey.
Wow.
I prefer to put the gas there now than to put in Jersey.
I didn't know that because I always used to, even when I worked in PA, I would always get gas in New Jersey.
If it is $3 here in Pennsylvania, it starts with $3.50, $3.60 at that time. Now it's opposite. It's $3 there and $3.50 here.
Wow.
And it's funny, we have the refineries here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They don't have to travel that far to bring the gas.
Why? Because this governor or this administration is making money to feed illegals.
Yep.
Our tax gas just went up today in Maryland. Went up.
Now ours goes up
You see the
automatically.
electricity bills, right? The electricity bills are skyrocketing now.
Hell, there's a new paint can tax in Maryland. If you buy a can of paint, you pay extra based on the size of the can. And taxes. It's Maryland. I know Jersey's not much better. It's probably a little worse, but Maryland sucks. And it's because of the leadership like you have in your state. Your leadership is more worried about the illegal aliens, making sure they get what they need. Same thing in Maryland. They're more worried about everything else other than the citizens of the state. And it's not by accident. This is not just, ooh, wow. It's all by design. By design.
You're right. Democrats care more about legal citizens.
Same with the case with Virginia. One of my friends was telling that Virginia is too expensive now to stay.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
You can always call New Jersey a prison.
There was a time when we used to. There was a time when we used to say New York and California are the highest expensive states in America. Now that phrase no more exists.
Yeah.
So
everybody out there, contact your awesome, and I'm being sarcastic, Governor Mikey Sherrill for passing the highest budget New Jersey has ever seen. And that we take 7.3 billion of it and give it to illegals so they can go to school and get health care and be on welfare, and give them driver's license so they can vote illegally in elections. So I would reach out to your governor, or just vote Damon Galdo for Congress.
The hammer. Send the hammer in.
The hammer. Yeah, where is that? Oh, here we go. The golden hammer.
The hammer of justice.
That's a long-standing joke, Ankush. I'll fill you in later. So, but all right, guys. Well, it's been a little over an hour here. I've been cooked from the sun today. It's so hot out there. I mean, my God, it was 100 degrees today in New Jersey, and it felt like 110. I worked outside all day. Tomorrow's going to be 104, and so is the next day. Same thing. And I don't know if the heat index is going to be. It's going to say it feels like 120, and I'm not looking forward to it. And so we're starting at 5 a.m. to try to beat the heat.
Makes sense.
But still, by the time we got to like 11 o'clock, I mean, I should have brought extra clothes. I was just drenched.
Yeah, swamp ass?
All big time. Yeah. I did. Oh, we all did. So,
does it get humid in New Jersey, or does it stay dry?
Oh, no, it is very, very, very humid.
Because it gets humid like a sauna down here. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's very bad. I was out in Arizona before, and it was 110, and it didn't feel as bad.
I liked it. Yeah, I went to, the Bonneville Salt Flats years ago. It was like 115 degrees, but it was comfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad.
Same was with Dallas. I was in Dallas a couple of years back. It was not humid. Like I was in Orlando, it's become very humid. It sucks.
Yeah.
But Dallas, it's heat, but it's not humid, So when you are going out that you have to take water. Yes. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida's like the devil's ass crack. It's so humid down there.
Yeah. And the good part is the US has one score against Bosnia, so we are on the better side as of now. Let's see how the match ends.
Yeah, but you got to be careful outside. You got to hydrate, man.
So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So I'm just going to end it with this. I mean, everyone knows where to find me on social media, and everyone knows I'm running for Congress. So go to votedamongaldo.com. I'm running against a juggernaut and Donald Norcross, the corrupt machine in South Jersey. So he's got a lot of money, and I am raising money, but not enough. So go to votedamongaldo.com and click on that donate button, and you can always find us here on the America's Pulse Network, Pulse Podcast, my show, Jersey Shore Podcast. So there you go, and then I'll go to you, Ankush. Where can people find you?
You can find me on the Facebook. I am on the Facebook. I am also on Instagram. I will send you the unapologetic page.
Mm.
Which
What
started, so you can also.
it was
see that.
unapologetic conservative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and then Seth, you can close us out here, and then we'll wrap.
Well, if I'm not in the hospital being treated for a heart attack, you can find me on X at Conservative Seth or Facebook at the Conservative Corner. I'm on here with Damon every Wednesday. And then I do the Conservative Corner the last Sunday of every month. And that's on Rumble and all the usual channels. And remember, if you like this show or any other show we have on America's Pulse Network, and you want to sponsor it, go to our website, click the little menu button thing and click sponsor. Or if you want to have your own podcast, go to the same place and then put on podcast and then fill out the application. It comes to us. And like I always say, me, Damon, the other Damon, and Alexander will look at your application and laugh at it and then throw it in the trash can and say, no, we won't do that. We just look to make sure you're a fit. I mean, we don't want somebody in here who's got like a tie and today's news, because you're not going to fit in with this. It's going to be like, oh my God. So, but yeah, if you really want to be a podcaster, it's fun. It's work, but we'd like to have you. And also, I'm letting everybody know that we have a special program coming up in a bit. And we'll get more information to you on that. It's going to be really interesting. Damon kind of touched on his last program. That kind of subject is what we're going to tackle. It's going to be really neat, very interesting. So as we get closer and closer to it, and we get some legs on it, we'll go ahead and let you all know what date. But stay tuned. It's going to be worth the wait.
Well, Seth, I will be wearing a suit and tie every day. So.
Well, you do know I'm not wearing pants, right?
The views and opinions on this network did not the views and opinions of Damon Galdo for Congress.
Yeah, but really.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it. And Ankush, I'll have you on the Jersey Shore podcast coming up. So
Sure.
But
Thank you.
thank you.
I hope
All
you guys enjoyed my association.
Oh no, dude, you're a pretty smart dude.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
but all right.
Okay. Have a
Have a good night.
July 4th good and prosperous, and be safe with this heat, okay?
Oh yeah. And take care of that swamp ass as soon as you get it. Don't let it linger, because that gets.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangan and Constance Ditzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Elena, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Join the revolution, because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth. America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you on the next episode.